Hi, welcome to Layers of Communication. I'm your host, Lydia Taggart. Today we're talking about the layer of spiritual fitness. And oh my goodness, there is such a hunger for this connection to something spiritual. I've been really impressed and surprised with this experience I had with my son this summer. We sent him to, it's called EFY. It's like a week-long camp of just spiritual stuff, spiritual activities. The kids come from around, kind of all around the world. He said there was somebody from Brazil there, and it's not really sponsored by our church, but it uses the same scriptures, and they have just uplifting moments all the time and talking about the scriptures and sharing testimonies and things. Anyway, one day I asked him, what did you learn? Because he's having all this fun. He's there all day long. And then they would come home at night. We did the local one. There's one that you go away and stay away, but we did the local one because it's a lot more affordable. Anyway, he said, I didn't really learn anything, but it's like conference. And conference is our church has every 6 months where we gather together and listen to the prophets tell us new things that we need to know and expand on the scriptures and things. It's very focused on spiritual connection and what we need to do to be better people and stuff like that. Anyway, so he didn't learn anything, but it's like conference. So you just want to listen anyway. I was like, holy cow, my 15-year-old teenager wants to listen anyway. He wants this. And then yesterday, I'm planning a girls' camp for the girls at church to go to camp. I'm the camp director assistant. And so he says, no fair. I want to go because girls' camp is like EFY every day for a camp. And he just is hungry for this connection. And so I'm really, really excited for us to talk today with Missy Arellano. I'm going to let her say her name better because I don't have the accent. But she is a spiritual fitness, we call it expert. Are you an expert? I don't know how to call it. Probably. Right?
I'm a coach. Yes, a practitioner, all that. Yes.
Yeah, and I have loved every conversation that I've ever had with Missy. I met her back almost a year ago in November, and I love her so much. Good friends, I think. But we have very different backgrounds about what is spiritual. But it's kind of the same thing, which I love. Everyone has these different ideas about what it is to be spiritual, but we can have this common bond, this common foundation that we are here to take the light and the good and share it with others and encourage and help other people to get more connected with their higher power. So welcome, Missy. How are you doing today? I'm so glad you're here.
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Since I met you the first time, I was like, whoa, there was a connection, the spirituality and miracles and faith and belief. Like I knew we connected on that. So when you told me about your show, I was like, oh yeah, I could definitely be on that show. So thank you.
Yeah. So what does it mean for you to be spiritual?
To be spiritual just means connecting to that higher power, that universal intelligence. So like you said, we practice different things, right? Different faiths. There's all kinds of religions and spiritual practices. But for me, it's just turning within, connecting to love. I use the word love because that to me, you can't go wrong with love. Love is that light, it's that joy, it's peace, it's everything good, right? So yes. When I connect to that, it doesn't matter what you call it, you feel it. And so the more you connect to that, the more you can trust that. And so when people say, hey, I pray to God, or I connect to, Jesus, Mother Mary, Buddha, Krishna, they have all these different things. What's true for them is true for them. And so if it works and it's good and it's love, I say, go do it,
Yes.
For me, the more I study, the more it opens up my world, and the more I realize love is everywhere. Everywhere I look, I see the face of God. I see the face of love. I see light. And that's actually what I do. I see light in people, and I focus on their light, and I help bring that forward through them to be expressed where maybe they're blocked. But yeah, spirituality is all that good stuff. just connecting to your higher power, or even if you call it your higher self. It's that grand intelligence that is just always bringing that good to and through you.
Yes, I love that. To us and through us. I love that. And it really is all based on love. Any kind of increase or abundance that comes to us, it comes through love. Any connection or friendship, there's a level of love there. And if we could have some more love and more respect, I think respect really is based on love. And I've heard a lot of times, and it breaks my heart, you have to earn your respect. I don't like that at all. I think that if you've damaged your respect, then you have to build it back up. But I think everyone should just have that love and respect anyway. What do you
And
think?
compassion. I think that's really what I've been wanting to focus on more lately, in teaching that, because we've all been there. We've all made mistakes. We've all done the wrong thing. We've all been hurt. And so if we can just remember that and hold that space for others who are going through that, instead of judging them and saying, writing them off, it's like, no, they are a human. They are a person. They have feelings, and they've been through something that you've been through that you can understand. So give them a break, and you talk about, you don't have to earn respect. No, I mean, I think once you get clear with your boundaries, and that's the whole point of spiritual practice, is knowing yourself better, knowing your higher source better, then you know where your boundaries are. Then you can still love people, even if they're showing up in an ugly manner, but they're not going to cross the line. They're not going to hurt you. So when you're clear on that, it's easy to love people, right? But that's inner work that you got to do first. So yeah, I believe everybody deserves love. They deserve compassion, and it's grace. Like, if we take it to the Bible, it's unmerited favor, right? Like, God has given you that, and you don't have to do nothing. You were born,
That's
you're
right.
here. You deserve a shot. So
Yeah.
I like to think of it that way.
That's beautiful. And that reminded me something else too, that as we're working on ourselves and we get that coming through us, kind of, a lot of people are concerned that the world is coming at us and we're being attacked and everybody's against us, victimhood, whatever you want to call it. And there are circumstances that are out there that will affect us. But as we bring in this spiritual goodness and this love and let it go out, if we're putting stuff out enough, there's no way anything else can get in to hurt us under that boundary when we're just putting out so much love.
Yes, I seriously agree with you 100%. And so it's cultivating that heart space, that love space. And I just watched a video, YouTube video of Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's amazing. He takes science. And what I like about science is that it proves spirituality. Yes! It really does prove that there's a higher power out there. And that's why I love going to Dow Temple, and my minister there is a rocket scientist, so like he gets it. He knows the science, but he also knows that underlying power that's in and through all things. So I brought that up because Joe Dispenza talks about this heart space. When you start to live from there and that's all you operate from, yeah, you're at a vibration that can actually affect your world around you. So nothing bad, not as much. I mean, life still happens, stuff's going to come at you, but you're going to better deal with it, dodge the bad stuff, dodge the energy. Like I deal with energy, and I use that language a lot of the times. And a lot of people say, oh, well, aren't you afraid of dark energy, evil energy? I was like, no, I don't focus on that. There's low energy, high energy, and I vibrate at a certain vibration. I hold that loving space, so that stuff coming at me is not going to affect me the same way it would as if I was down. I'm not saying I'm totally perfect, but there are times when my energy is low and I am susceptible to get knocked over. But you pick yourself back up, you cultivate, you pray, you do whatever you got to do to get yourself back up and operate in that area. But yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, very cool. And I want to bring up a point too that you say, aren't you afraid of dark energy? And I think energy is just another word for spirit. Like we have all these similar beliefs with different names, right? And if there's a God or a higher power or good, then there has to be the opposite or it couldn't exist, right? There couldn't be good and notice that, hey, that's really good, if you haven't had something that's not good. And I think that's one of the reasons we have bad experiences, rough times in our lives, so we can appreciate the good. But I think if we, whether or not we acknowledge, hey, I'm dealing with energy, I'm working on my spirit, that other side is always going to be there working on us and trying to get at us, even if we don't acknowledge it. It's still there. So I think that's really interesting that people ask you, aren't you afraid of it? Well, it's going to be there anyway. So why not do something better to get further away from it so it can't influence us as much?
Right, right. And here's what I believe is very similar, but maybe a little twist to that, is that yes, we live on Earth, this human playing field, right? So there's certain laws of the universe. So yeah, it's very much a dualistic environment we're in. So there's good, there's bad, there's highs, there's lows, there's right, there's wrong. And so I believe that when you connect to the spiritual side, the universal side, once we leave our bodies, that it's different. I believe that if we can look from that perspective, everything is good. Everything, no, and in contrast, so when you were saying that, you have to have these experiences so you know what you want, and you want to know, go for the good, and Abraham Hicks uses the term contrast, and so when you can get to that space of gratitude, step back from your situation, you can see the gratitude in what maybe looked bad, and then it projects you to something else that's good, that's better. But I like to, when I can step away, I can say, oh, it was all for my good. All the bad things that happened in my past were good for me because they forced me to grow and level up. And
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, everything is for our good. And I love that you brought up something else that I've been thinking about today, too. I had this experience at work, right? I'm working at a sandwich shop, and I told my husband got his job, so I don't have to work there anymore. Yay! But I had made these commitments, and I felt kind of bad. Being like, well, I'm not going to be around anymore. And I like it there. I do like what I'm doing. It's a lot of time, not a whole lot of time, but it is time. And I said, I need to be with my kids. We've got summer camps. We got this and this and this and this. And I said, I need to kind of phase myself out of working there. And I sat down with my calendar last week and went, you know what? They're going back to school in just a few more weeks. I mean, really, summer's not that long. Then what am I going to do? I have tons that I could do, all these options and things. But I ended up sending them an apology email saying, I'm sorry for my short-term focus freak out.
Yeah.
And it can affect us here, but in the really big picture, like you're saying, when we are not in this physical form anymore and on this earth in this way, it's going to be so different. And we can have this long-term focus, this big picture, instead of just the short-term freakouts.
Yes.
So what do you do to keep fit with your spirituality, and how do you know when you're not strong? How do you recognize a weakness that we want to work on?
This is a very good question. It's something I actually had hit a bump in the road recently. I could just tell you two things that threw me where I noticed, my energy's off. See, I'm so good, and I've been practicing for years, my spiritual practice, my mental focus and all that. I'm very good at being present and being in the moment. I have a lot of energy. I'm high energy. And so sometimes I do move too fast and I don't notice these little cues that are saying, slow down, take a breath, take a minute. And so recently, the smallest one that I've recognized is that I'll be talking and then I'll just stop and I'll be like, ooh, where was I? Hold on. What was I? Like, I really have a mental hiccup and I'm like, whoa, what was I just talking about? Or why was I going this direction? And I realized, okay, that's a sign you're kind of off balance. So time to refocus your spiritual practice. And then also I got sick last week. I'm like, I don't get sick. I really don't. I don't get the flu anymore. I don't get colds. I don't catch people's germs because I don't subscribe to that. I'm like, no, just because you're sick doesn't mean that I need to get sick. But catch me when my energy's low. Catch me when I'm not getting enough rest or caring for myself enough. That, yeah, I was off balance and susceptible to that, and I got sick. But, it's just a beautiful reminder. Again, I can see the good in it. It woke me up. It's like, whew, cold water in the face, wake up, restructure game plan. So for me, what I realized this time around is I give a lot, right? I'm giving on social media, different platforms, with my clients, with my friends. I mean, I have meetings every week with people who aren't even clients, just to meet and connect and share and talk and have, conversations. And so it's very important to me. But what I realize is a lot of energy out. So the regular 20-minute meditation is not enough. 20 minutes in the morning, 20 at night, which was good for a while, some prayer. And I pray throughout the day. My whole goal is to pray without ceasing, right?
Yes.
I like that. There's a quote, right? I don't know if it's a Bible thing, but I've definitely heard my spiritual teachers say that you want to pray without ceasing. And so I'm in constant prayer all day when stuff comes up or where I'm grounded or I want to, set an intention. And so that's great. Like, that's great. I use that in my practice. But what I realized, I have to have more. I mean, it really has to be a full hour in the morning for as much as I'm giving. And I thought about my minister at church too. I was like, yeah, you know what? I think he gets up at like 5 in the morning, maybe even 4:30, and starts his practice because he's got people to pray for, which I have clients to pray for. Why am I not getting up early to do that? You pray for your clients, you pray for yourself, you do your prayer, you do your meditation. And now I'm doing yoga. So I'm starting a 40-day little series of yoga because I went to Kundalini yoga a couple weeks ago, and this series hit me hard, and I said, oh, it's clearing out major energy. I'm going to commit to this. So I do better when I stack stuff. My practice is to be like this, and I have to commit to it for a set amount of time, and then when the change starts to happen, that's where I'm like, yeah, this stuff works.
That's awesome. Yes, stacking all of our practices is the layers of communication. And there's a spiritual connection that you can't get the same effect if you're only doing one thing. One thing is great. Choose one thing. Pray for 5 minutes in the morning. That's a great first step. But when you stack them and add more time, and the thing about stacking them is it concentrates it so that you don't have to have it as over a long period of time. You get the bigger results faster. And so we stack those layers. I love that. Meditating and yoga and all of that together. I've just recently started a fitness program. And so this is really fun to me too, that you are so into fitness and you've been doing bodybuilding and things. And I see the parallels when we connect with our body and how that influences our spirituality when we're really connected with who we are physically and spiritually and emotionally. There are all these things layered on together. You want to speak to that, how the body affects our spirituality?
Yes. Well, first of all, our body holds so much emotion, right? Stress and memory. Memory is physical, it's in your body. So, some people have strong resistance to even wanting to step into a gym, to even wanting to get moving. And there's a lot that goes behind that. I mean, patterns, behaviors, familiar stuff that you're used to, you're in your comfort zone. And so even moving out of that physically is hard. And so what I do when I work with people is getting them to connect first inwardly, okay, connecting to mind, body, spirit, right? So who are you? What do you want? And what do we got to let go of so that we can move forward? So yeah, it's all connected. And as soon as you start putting it all together, stuff starts to flow. And when you can tap into your higher power, then it's really a lot easier because then you're not doing it all yourself. Then you have help. And then that's where that energy comes when you don't have energy. That's when that willpower comes that maybe humanly you don't have enough. And it really just guides me. You're like, oh yeah, I got this.
Yes, that's wonderful. And we can do so much more when we don't realize how much we can do if we just trust into that higher power. My trainer this morning, I was starting a new thing with I'm so new at it. I don't even know what it's called. It's like the bench press.
Uh-huh.
And so she had me lay down. She's like, put your arms like this, and then you move the weights here. And I was like, oh, how much is this? This is so hard. And I thought she's going to say it's 100 pounds or 50 pounds at least. And she's like, it's 12 pounds. I'm like, it's only 12 pounds?
Well, the bench can be intimidating because it's like this bar right over your neck, and you're like, if it drops, you're going to die. Yeah.
And I was like, it's only 12 pounds. And I could do it. But at the very beginning, I was like, there's no way I can do this. And, we work up to something bigger. And I think a lot of times when we're seeking that spiritual connection, we want to be able to do the 100 pounds. We want to be like showing off, really connected, really able to get that inspiration and that focus and the direction. But we have to start small and build up that muscle. I think spirituality and connection is a muscle that needs to be strengthened. And to not be embarrassed that you can only do 12 pounds.
Or you can only sit for 1 minute. Some people worry that they can't meditate, and they're like, I can only do a minute, and I have to have music on. Or, I can only meditate when I go walking. It's okay. Whatever brings you to focus, whatever brings you inward is perfect. So whether it's activity, meditation, even chanting, it's like baby steps. And so that's how I start my clients out too. It's really small. It's like, look, I don't even want to count your calories yet. Hold on. No, I don't even care how many reps you could do. Hold on. Let's just get started step by step, So I get it. Yeah. You build up.
Thank you. The first step that I like to share with my clients is just to breathe. And even just one breath, like a real big breath. And that makes a big difference. And then that opens up all the possibilities to work on progressing and growing. So we've talked about all the different options that you could do for your morning routine. Is there anything else that you do for like a schedule for fitness? Is it just checking in with yourself, or is there something that you do every day?
Well, other than breath and movement, like setting up a schedule for sure. Like if there's a fitness goal involved, that plan is written out, on Sunday, it's set, For me personally, like I'm active all the time because I teach a lot of fitness classes. Like I won't ever give those up. I love, talking to big groups, and I love movement, and I love music. And so I don't know if I'll ever give that up. We'll see. But for me, I just gauge my activity. Again, watching my balance. If I'm teaching 4 classes in a day, I'm not going to work out, So I shift my workouts to maybe a Tuesday, Thursday where I have less stuff to do, But when I'm getting strategic, I'll put in more cardios and at least do cardio. But as far as heavy weights and different trainings, I'm very mindful of like what days I put those on. But 2 to 3 days a week is good. Like if I'm doing my stuff 2 to 3 days a week, that's cool because I'm not competing. If I was competing, I'd be teaching less, and I'd be probably doing 6 days of strategic workouts. Yeah.
Strategic workouts. So are aerobics more effective when you're getting to compete?
It's different for everybody. It's different. For me, I definitely have to do more cardio. In addition to my weights. Like weights make stuff so fast. Like seriously, you start doing two days. Like for me, I'm a mesomorph. I have a lot of muscle anyway. So 2 heavy weight workouts with 3 cardios, and I'm already seeing results. My eating's not bad. I don't eat a lot of junk food. I'm vegetarian. I'm a wannabe vegan. So protein's important to me. But just little changes make a big difference. And I ask my clients to affirm that for themselves too. This can be easy. It doesn't have to be hard. Just stick to it, right? Consistency, commitment, and it'll start happening for you. And then get excited about the little results. Oh my God, it was only half a pound. Yes, woo, it was half a pound. Dude, the scale went down, or whatever measurement you use. Some people use inches, some people use body fat. Again, use what works for you is what I say. What's going to motivate you? Maybe it's just your picture. Maybe it's a shirt. Oh my gosh, if it's so much better. celebrate every single win and let that drive you to the next step, you know?
Yeah, and like I actually went and did a 12-pound lift today. Woohoo!
Yeah, girl. I know. It's awesome.
Because I think it's interesting the breath and bringing that spiritual connectedness to ourselves and the aerobics and how they can work together to help us physically be better shape and also to connect spiritually as well. I think that's fascinating how they parallel each other like that. Yes.
After my first trip to Brazil, where things really changed for me, just diving deep into my spiritual practice, I came back and I competed that following December. I was in Brazil in August, competed in December, and it was my first show in like a couple years, 3 years or something. And so it was all spirit guided. It really was. And so I did affirmations when I was doing cardio. I did affirmations when I was like doing jump squats, like the stuff that was hard for me. So like plyos would kick my butt, sprints would kick my butt. And so that's where I just be going hard with prayer and affirmation, and it really helps. And yeah, of course, always being focused on the breath. Like when you're working out, you have to learn how to breathe. Otherwise you'll just hurt yourself and get a headache, you know? So yeah, breath is so important.
So what's one of your favorite affirmations that you say when you're exercising?
Oh, God's got this.
Nice.
God's got this. God's got this. God's got this. I remember working out with my trainer. I had a coach because I was like, I wasn't going to lift heavy on my own because I had an injury and I wouldn't push my shoulder workouts. And that's like a big thing that they judge on. And so my coach would push me. But I remember one day we're doing a leg workout. It was like leg press, really heavy, high rep. And then right after that, jump squat, jump squat, jump squat. And I was like, I just repeated the word love, love, love. And then the time would fly and I wouldn't feel the burn. Like I couldn't feel the burn in my legs. I was just so focused on love, love, love. And that got me through that set. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. One that I have started is because we tend to not be grateful enough for our relationships. And I think that's one of the things that pushes people away is we don't show our gratitude or express that gratitude for the people in our lives. And I thought, well, that's going to parallel with all of our relationships. I want to improve my relationship with my body. So I've started just saying, I'm grateful for my body. I love my body. And has made such a big difference with how I feel. And like it was a struggle and a fight before. I was like, you know what? I'm grateful I have this body. And then it's like, oh, okay, we can work together now. So
Oh yeah. I started talking to my fat, you know, like I would seriously grab the extra stuff on my belly and I'd be like, thank you. You know, the inner thigh fat, like the stuff that I really needed to tone up or burn fat. And I just be like, you know what? Thank you. You're showing me where I need to do work or where I've been off balance. Maybe where I've been eating too much and not working out enough. I say, great, because my body type will show me right away what I'm doing wrong if I'm out of balance. So I say, thank you, body type. You know, if other people are tall and skinny naturally, great. But for me, my lifestyle and the way I do things, that would not be healthy because I would not be able to see the imbalances right away. And so maybe it would show up internally. For Missy, that's not good. I'm not saying that has to be other people's story, but it wouldn't be good for me. So I appreciate the way that my body puts on fat and the way it releases it too, and that it is more muscular. You know, I used to not like these shoulders, and who knows? I mean, who knew? Like years later, it would actually be a good thing, right? When I'm competing and working out and all that stuff. So yeah, love your body, love, love, love your body. Even just getting in the mirror. Like this is a Louise Hay thing, but you stop, you say, I love you. I really, really love you, you know, and it helps. It shifts your energy. It keeps you lifted. And then other people throwing darts at you, it doesn't matter.
Yes, I love it. Well, Missy, we're just about out of time. I want to share with our audience, I'm Lydia Taggart. This is Layers of Communication. And you can find me at lydiataggart.com. That's Taggart. And Missy, where can they find you?
They can find me online at missyarellano.com. That's MissyArellano.com. And that's my Instagram, Missy Arellano 888. Spiritually Fit 888 is my fitness page. So yeah, check me out.
Awesome. Do you have any last words, any last things that you want anybody to know?
Just you can love yourself fit. Like, seriously, start within, get help. You're not alone. And yeah, I mean, life is what you make of it. So let's make it good.
That's right. I love it. And I'm going to share my thing that I always say. You are worth it. Remember, you're worth it. Take the time to figure out your layers. You're worth it, and so are they. Until next week, we'll see you later. Love you. Thanks for being with us. Bye-bye.
Thank you.